Liza, you're looking lovely.
No, no, no. Yeah, it's odd to be Liza, but that's the her name is attached to the church email that I used for this account. So let's see. It says it will be beginning. Did you receive a little notification? Oh, I think it's going. All
All
right.
right.
I think we're recording. So, all right. Well, we are gathered tonight as part of our 2021 campaign for St. Richard's, which we're calling this year "God Gives the Growth," based out of 1 Corinthians chapter 3. And throughout this 6-week campaign, we'll be hearing from a number of St. Richard's folks telling their stories about times and experiences in their lives where they have encountered God through the life of our parish. And so I'm really excited tonight to be joined with our first, I don't want to say guinea pig because this isn't super, this should be pretty low stakes, but with our first participant, Becky Andersen, who thank you so much for being willing to do this and to be
Sounds
the
like a game show. Our first participant.
I know, that's right, that's right. Unfortunately, there is not a prize at the end of tonight's conversation, but um, so the idea behind this, Becky, as we've sort of shared before this, before tonight, is these are just intended to be really informal conversations that take place in lieu of the usual kind of announcement time testimonials that in a normal year we may have during stewardship, but because of COVID, we don't have. But I'm actually glad we're not able to do those this year because one, people always say they make the services too long, and two, it's more fun for me to actually get to talk to people and get to meet folks. So I'm glad to be able to do this. All right. So I know I sort of already did this here, looking at my questions. The first thing is to say, would you mind introducing yourself? But I already said who you were, so I sort of stole the thunder there a little bit. But could you tell me a little bit about both your involvement at St. Richard's, but also how long you've called St. Richard's your church home?
Oh, wow. I started at St. Richard's in 1987. And we had just moved to Texas, and a neighbor lady came walking 2 doors over and welcomed us and invited us to her church. And we drove her to church for 3 years. She was really good at making Max go to church. And she liked to have a man on her arm.
Ah.
She was from Pasadena, Texas. And but I've been teaching Sunday school since Father Sid asked me to teach Sunday school over 30 years ago. He recently said, "Wait, I signed you up for that. You have permission to quit." Everybody jumped in. No. But no, it keeps me young. It's fun. And junior high, high school, and combinations of junior high and high school at different times according to our population.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, bless you for that, because that's not an easy demographic always to find folks who feel called to serve and be with those kids who are, you know.
I've been told I'm very junior high.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
But I'm also on Daughters of the King.
Right.
When we used to have more ECW participation, I was in that. Been involved in Pumpkin Patch forever.
Nice.
And I don't know, I can't even think. Probably more. There's more.
Well, so you're like a seasoned vet of St. Richard's at this point,
Mhm.
and so it sounds like you've got probably a lot of St. Richard's stories. But tell me about one in particular, maybe where you have experienced the presence of God at St. Richard's somehow. Tell me about that experience, and then also maybe how that experience impacted you or changed you or inspired you in some way.
Wow. There's so much. I mean, I've been there so long, and so St. Richard's is fully entwined in my life and my family and my history. But when we came to St. Richard's, we were married in 83 and we moved there in 87. We had our daughter in 96. And so St. Richard's was part of that waiting, St. Richard's was part of that celebration. And they've been there with me through happy times and sad times. I lost Max in 2014, and my husband, and my mom attended for quite a number of years, about 14 years. And so then she passed away in 2015. So St. Richard's was part of that. And then my brother a little over a year ago. And so we've been out there in that memorial garden a few times, and they're represented out there. But more than that, the joy, the everyday, the having something to look forward to, the people that participate in my life have just been remarkable. The very thing about this virus is that I was still working. I was still going to work every day and driving home every day at the same times, at the same place, but not the same because I didn't have my anchor. I told people I feel like I'm afloat on the sea with no anchor, not having the church. And so we're fully engaged now in October and throwing pumpkins and selling pumpkins and attending church. And we've started the meals again in a more limited fashion. It all brings purpose back to life.
So, yeah, what I'm hearing there is really just this kind of steady presence that St. Richard's has been in your life through all of the ups and downs. And yeah, I think that's really profound when so for myself, I basically grew up in the same town. I lived there from the time I was in kindergarten to the time I graduated high school. And my wife, Carly, moved around quite a bit. She lived in about 3 or 4 different places where I just lived in that one. And something that she has remarked on a lot through our marriage is how, like, I just have all of these friends and relationships that I've known for so long.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it just comes with being in one place and in one community for a while. And there's really no other way to have that except for that sort of the passage of time. And so I think there is something really special about the steadiness of a community in someone's life and the way that
there is. But St. Richard's, when I attended there, it was to be, I'll visit the Episcopal Church with you, but I was raised Methodist. Okay. And it was very welcoming. It was, it just felt like family very quickly. And so it was just part of life so instantly for us. And
well, you've kind of already answered one of my other questions, which was what might you say to someone who is new to St. Richard's or who might be looking for a new church home? And I think you've kind of already hit that, but I want to actually loop back around to something you said at the beginning of your story, which is maybe to talk about the power of an ask and an invitation. You know, you were
yes.
And that was sort of how you made your way into St. Richard's. So maybe instead of asking what might you say to someone who is new, maybe you could. What would you say to encourage an already existing St. Richard's parishioner to encourage them to be willing to give that invitation to someone else? What might you say to your fellow parishioners about that?
Just to talk about to people what St. Richard's is in your life. I always reference my kids, my Sunday school kids, and they're such a part of my consciousness. And so in everyday conversation, I might discuss the lesson we had or someone's response to the lesson or what I learned from them. And it will just come up easily. And it's hopefully an invitation to people to say, you know, this is an easy place to be. It's just people. It's just St. Richard's is humans, and come join us. But I'll have to say, I haven't been as great as Kathleen Hill was when I first came to Texas. You know, that she walked right down and and knocked on the door and introduced herself and invited us. And maybe we should all be so bold.
Mm. Yeah, I think that's a really beautiful and powerful reminder that we are all wherever we are because of someone else, right? Because
Yes.
of someone else's invitation or someone else's urging. I think that's a really beautiful reminder of that. Well, okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. I really, really appreciate it. I have been blessed through hearing that, and I know that others will be as well. But I have one more question that is truly probably the most vital information we will get tonight. Uh, but what is the best taco?
Oh. Mm.
It's a
Wow.
low stakes.
Um, yeah. So, I mean, everybody goes to Torchy's Tacos, and it's pretty good. Um, uh, but the best one at Torchy's Tacos, probably the Democrat.
Okay. Oh, that is a good one. That is a good one. It's pretty hard to
Yeah.
go wrong with any beef option. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. This past Sunday, actually, after the 8 o'clock, Carly and I just had a hankering. We had to get a breakfast taco, and I can't remember the name of it now, but it's the one with the smoked brisket in it with the eggs and the cheese.
Oh.
Ooh, yeah, it hits the spot. So anyway, well, Becky, thank you so much for being willing to join me tonight for the first of these conversations. I'm really excited about hearing everybody's stories, and I was again blessed by yours tonight, and I'm really grateful for your willingness to join us as part of this campaign for St. Richard's. So thank you so much, and it was
We're
good to be
glad to
with you.
have you.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'll see you around at church or at the patch.
You already feel like part of the family.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, that was one of the things that Carly and I felt during the discernment process, is we just felt already at home, and that was a big part of why we said yes. So, yeah. Thank you. All right. Well, we will talk again soon, and thank you so much for being willing to do this.
You're most welcome.
All
My
right.
pleasure.